Hi, welcome to Bright Hope Creations. I'm Kara, and today we're taking inspiration from this adorable tote. It's a canvas tote bag called You're Just My Type of Tote. So it features this typewriter from You're Just My Type, and he's got that cute smiley face and the pink cheeks, and the top row of keys has the little heart. So we're going to recreate that, and you can see I have a piece of white cardstock, and then I have the Speckled Eggshell, which is really close to this canvas. So I love that because I can make it look more like the tote with this. So I am cutting out 2 panels of the reveal wheel, and the top one will have the square add-on placed in it. So I cut that out, and then the reveal wheel out of the same speckled eggshell, and then just a piece of white for the little wheel, and an arrow out of Rainforest cardstock. I have an inside out stitch scallop square in speckled eggshell, and here are the square stencils for the reveal wheel, and that is the square from the coordinating dies of You're Just My Type, which is this stamp set. We'll use the typewriter, and also Milo's ABCs. I really wanted that scallop square just to kick it up a notch, and so I needed to cut a square inside the square for my paper to show through. And so where do I put that? Well, I put that on the back panel, and then I'm just making sure with my ruler, see the 0 in the middle? I'm making sure that everything is centered, and then I'm placing the front panel over that directly and make sure it's all lined up, and then lightly with a pencil I'm just tracing through that square, and I want to make sure it's where I want it, so I'm putting the stamp over it just to make sure I've got it all kind of centered there. And I did, so I cut it out with the square, and it just goes over the square that's on the front panel, and it's great, worked perfect. All right, so now for the sentiment, and I've already loaded up the sentiment in the MISTI. This is Milo's ABCs, and I just put them each on the line, and the stamps themselves are rectangles, so they just butt up next to each other, and that worked great. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to place that, so I'm just putting it down. It looks like I need to move my paper over to the right, and so I did that. And I wanted to put that typewriter back up there just to make sure everything was where I wanted it, and it is. So I'm taking some jet black ink and inking that up, and I will stamp this. I will ink and stamp this 3 times. I just wanted to make sure I had a nice bold impression. So Lawn Fawn has a few new tote bags out, and I love this one with the typewriter because it's animated. It has a smiley face. It's just such a sweet, simple look, and that's what I'm going for here on the card as well. So now I'm placing that typewriter where I think it needs to be stamped, and I'm pulling away the top reveal wheel panel, and then I'll put that. I want to keep those letters in my MISTI in case I mess something up and I need to stamp it again. So I just moved it up, and I'm stamping higher up in the MISTI with this typewriter. And again, I stamped this one 3 times just to get that same bold impression that I had in my sentiment. And now I almost forgot to put on the keys with the heart. But phew, I remembered. And what I love about these keys is you could have just a top row of regular keys, or this heart, or there's even a smiley face and little cheeks for it as well. So it's very clever, but we're going to use the heart because that's what's on our tote bag, and also the smiley face will come in the paper. So I'm going to color that up, and the little heart is an RV10. And then I found what Copic markers I thought would match up well with the colors in the tote, and I'm looking off to the side at the tote to decide what gets colored what color. And so this is the BG 45, and that's all inside the keys. And then the typewriter itself will be a BG 49, and the rest of it is going to be that Speckled Eggshell. So just finishing up the coloring here, and no shading today, just plain old coloring with one color each. And so it looks like the printed typewriter on the tote bag. All right, well, it's time to put this wheel together, and I'm putting the brad through the back of the little wheel, the little circle, and then through the back of the reveal wheel, and open up that brad. Make sure it turns well, and then I can put some foam squares on the little circle and making sure that it doesn't touch the brad. I even have a pink brad, but you'll never see that. It's just that I had a lot of colorful brads. All right, so now where do I place it on here? And there are some marks where you could use to figure it out, but this stencil works great for figuring out where to put it, the wheel, because once I put that on the wheel itself, I can put the window, the square window, up against the square in the stencil and take off my release paper and then just place it down on the back panel, because that stencil is right where you would want to see whatever you're going to stamp in there. And so now that I have that placed down, I can pull up my front panel, and I'm just checking to make sure that you can see all the squares, and of course you can. So I can take off that wheel and stencil and have it ready to start stamping. Now there are two different stencils for the square wheel. Well, I think for a lot of these stencils there's either an option to do 3 openings or 4, and I'm choosing the 3 this time because there are 2 smiley faces in the You're Just My Type stamp set. So I wanted those 2, and then I just wanted the last one to say hi, so that it was simple and kind of followed along with the look that I was going for, simple like the tote. So I put in the 2 smiley faces, and here's the word hi. And now it's time to put on those cheeks. So I'm getting out the Ballet Slippers ink, and I have those cheeks, and I wasn't sure. I'm going to look at it for a minute, ink it up, and stamp it down. And I think it's a little high, so I'll come back to that. But this one is right where I wanted it. So cute. So I inked up those cheeks one last time and put them a little bit lower, just a tiny bit lower on his face. So he's just got a little bit more cheek than the other one. All right, now I can put that wheel onto the base, and so stick that through the brad, and then I'll open up that brad and then make sure that it spins nicely. Here we go. And then I'll cover the rest of the back with foam tape, and it's the same height as the foam I put on the circle in the back, so it will be at the right height. And I just put that all around the circle, but not touching the circle, so that it moves freely. Well, it has to be said, but this card is totes adorbs. All right, well, my teenage daughters would die if they heard me say that. Mom, No one says that. I know, I just say it to mess with them. But they're good sports. All right, well, we're putting some adhesive on that scallop square and lining it up on the front. And then all I need to do is take off that release paper, and I can put that front panel on the back panel. And I thought I should probably put one of the images in the middle so that I could see it. I don't know why. It seemed like the thing to do. So now I can put my top panel on my back panel. Make sure it's all lined up and press it down, and it works. There it is. So here's our smiley faces and our word hi. And now I will put it on a piece of speckled eggshell, and this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel, and set it there. And then I'm going to take the glue tube and just put a little glue on this little arrow. This is Rainforest cardstock, and I thought that went well with the color of the typewriter. And then I will glue that on the side, and then I'll just show the recipient that there's something to do and how to do it. There are so many fun ways to use the stamp set You're Just My Type. I mean, it's got a mouse and a lamp and a desk. It's great. But I just wanted to feature the typewriter today, just like the tote bag. So I adhered it onto a note card, and our card is all done. Here are our happy, smiling faces. And of course the word hi. And I'm focusing on the one that looks like the tote bag here. So again, here's our tote bag and the card up next to it, so you can see it again. I think this would be a fun card to give someone, especially if you were giving them this tote bag to go along with it. I hope you enjoyed the video today, inspired by the You're Just My Type of tote. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye!